these champions can find opportunities quite easily. The cease and desist basically guarantees a charm, and that is how picks can happen. It's just one of those jungler combinations that you often see with Ahri. You also have like Wukong appearing quite often with the Ahri. Just a popular option. No surprises here, really, when we're looking at rune choices.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Everything's looking quite standard. And we're also seeing a standard 5-man spread configuration. But autoplay will be able to proc the first electrocute of the game even before minions spawn. They will be looking to pester Glungulate even more. They will not stop Glungulate's recall, but given that he's no longer there in position, I guess Iverngers will have to be aware now that vision is placed. Their topside jungle. And it looks like, yeah, 5 Freaks will have all the information they need to be able to play around with jungler on the other side. Like, after he's done with a red buff, they will know exactly where he's going afterwards. Now, who will be able to secure the push for bot lane? I mean, I would like to say it's going to be the MF Zyra lane, but given how they're playing right now, they're not that interested in pushing, it feels like. Tenchi is just autoing the wave consistently, while David and Tyler are not exactly doing the same. So it could be Iverngers hitting level 2 here first, and can they take advantage of it? Not quite. Howitzer decides not to flash on either the MF or the Zyra. That is potentially just an engage opportunity missed. And now taking a bunch of damage from the Zyra plants as well, so this is now becomes quite awkward for the team with the melee matchup. You take any kind of extra harass, you're going to feel the consequences. Really good trade right now from autoplay. Putting things even when it comes to health, maybe even winning right now on the trades. Foxfire lands once again, but Charm! One more auto perhaps? Autoplay does not quite find it. The Scout of the Week almost killed him in combination with that tower shot. That was so close. It could have could have really gone either way, but autoplay still interested in the solo kill. Pressuring Syndra really hard. You have to be careful not to fall prey to a Scatter the Weak, but he's going to fall prey to the jungler instead. You can't be playing up like this when you're essentially less than 100 health. Like, you will get punished, even if the jungler is not exactly the strongest one in the bunch. When it comes to UNL, Glungulate's still being able to find that opportunity. And now, can 5 Freaks find something of their own? The Ignite is ticking. The barrier from Tenchi is really good, and Provecho overextends for that kill. It will be a 1-for-1 at the end, thanks to all the Zyra damage. So it's not all that bad for 5 Freaks if you think about it. It's Rel who took the kill. Tenchi is still zoned out here. He had to recall, and 5 Freaks being able to crash this wave all the way to the turret, even potentially being able to take some fights at the end of it. Glungulate actually going in for the big damage onto David, but that's going to be that. I mean, he can't do much more. He'll probably just have to recall. That was also a Flash Force just now from Howitzer. So maybe there is a chance now for Iverngers to make something happen in the near future. Yeah, if you're a melee support playing against a lane like this, you either just entirely concede and just look to minimize damage if you're actually not getting any jungler attention, or you have to fight for that level 2 push and just look for an option where you can get some significant damage on the table so that the other ranged dual lane is scared to fight you. Iverngers should be able to get this crash going right here. Even if it doesn't happen, they have Gulongulate waiting in the wings, but 5 Freaks, they will be able to spot him. Gulongulate will be spotted by that ward. He does not dodge the vision. You know he's sitting in that alcove. 5 Freaks know exactly where he's positioned right now. So there should be no surprise about this one. Now what can 5 Freaks get done on the other side? Provecho is onto the grubs already. So that will be the first neutral objective secured. Gulongulate is really committed to this gank option. They will find and engage onto the Misfortune, and that should be a kill for Iverngers Civil War. Gulongulate, patience is a virtue, certainly. And yeah, just with the Xin Zhao being able to, like, basically just I don't know, 5 Freaks, I guess they just weren't expecting that. They did not expect the enemy jungler to be staying there for that long. They will transition that straight into the dragon, so all things considered, it feels like a play that really worked out for Iverngers Civil War. They traded Grubs for Dragon in the end, so they will be feeling quite good about that one, but they left their ADC unattended, and that means easy pickings for autoplay and David, who actually takes the kill credit. Bishan is just one of those mid laners that will take opportunities to roam and just get his bot lane ahead. The moves to bot lane especially is basically his bread and butter, it feels like. Now, Provecho and the Ahri, they will be able to find a pick right here, most likely, but Charm is basically guaranteed with a cease and desist, but the Crescent Guard just enough to be able to stop the 2v2 from taking the kill. Killa Vanilla definitely had less than 100 health in that situation. He will just barely be able to escape with his life. Oh, this will be a good trade for Blaziken. The pole lands. It will get harder and harder for Ornn to fight back. We will definitely see Rylai's Crystal Scepter eventually completed. And that just makes it even harder for Ornn to actually run away. So if there's ever a situation where he's pushed up and he has to be able to crash a wave, yeah, it's not going to be a comfortable situation. Yeah, but other than that, right now we're not seeing much action. I'm sure Autoplay is itching to find another chance to go bot lane. But right now, Iverngers will just take their recall and look to potentially do something more on the other side of the map, maybe. Ashe already making the rotation down mid, along with the Rel. So what is this about exactly? Is this Iverngers just making that rotation just to be able to fight for the grubs in the near future? Looks like it could be the case, but it feels like this rotation is made prematurely. We still have 20 seconds until the grubs spawn, and while all that is happening, 5 Freaks are just taking plates for free down bot lane, and they could just be even looking at a pick from the jungle and mid of 5 Freaks. They just take down the Ashe with 0 issues, and the Rel will follow as well. So this is just a really bad sequence for Iverngers. They lose so much down bot lane, this tower would probably go down. And they might be able to take the grubs, but given what happened elsewhere, it's still a pretty bad spot. The bot lane of 5 Freaks is so far ahead. First tower is going to them. It's 5 Freaks kill credit. ICW, they wanted to keep the fight going, but here come Provecho and Autoplay. That charm actually forces a flash from the Mordekaiser, I think, rightfully flashing away. That would have just been an extra kill on the board with 5 Freaks, but yeah, as you can see, that one passage of play is basically allowing 5 Freaks to really pull ahead in this game. We're already looking at 3,000 gold difference. It didn't really take all that much. It was basically just a weird rotation that Iverngers initiated on their own, and 5 Freaks just punished it really well. Now, will we be looking at a pick from Iverngers? They're posturing aggressively down in bot. The dragon is already up. 5 Freaks a bit split. We do have the teleport coming in from No2 is about to come off cooldown. So there's that for 5 Freaks, but now Tyler is face checking a brush that he has no business face checking, but Iverngers are probably overextending for this one pick. Lungulate will get punished even though he pulls out his Crescent Guard. It will not mean a thing. Scatter the Weak does not stop 5 Freaks from approaching the objective. Could be even looking for an extra pick after this. Cease and desist is still there for Provecho, so Iverngers, I don't feel like they should be looking for anything more. I mean, No2 did not even have to expend his teleport, so this is perfect news for 5 Freaks. They did not have to fight all that hard for this dragon. And Ornn is also even in a matchup where he was, you know, considered highly unfavored. This is just a really annoying matchup for Ornn to play out, but No2 is doing a good job. I mean, I guess they're just happy just trading waves, I suppose, but Blaziken, I don't think he should be very happy with how things are progressing. It's Ornn that's going to be outscaling you, not the other way around, so yeah, it's just something to consider. Oh, Blaziken, we could be looking at a potential pick. Cease and Desist and Call of the Forge God both used. Blaziken uses Realm of Death to buy time, but it's still a potential 4v2, maybe a 4v3 as he comes out of the Death Realm. You will get out successfully. But does this mean 5 Freaks can get to the Herald and secure it? Yeah, their whole team is basically there in position. And ICW, yeah, it doesn't look like they want to be a part of this fight this time around. And it is a Herald that could lead to an extra sack of gold that they can secure in a very short amount of time. I mean, this mid lane is at about 55% HP or so. I feel like a successful Herald charge could be the thing that secures them that mid lane tier 1. But perhaps it would be easier for them to actually look for a pick in one of the side lanes, especially on the Syndra. Even though you don't, even though you haven't burnt the flash yet, this Vi Ahri combo is still very threatening, even if you do have the flash. There's not much you can do about the cease and desist once you're in range and Vi just is able to press that button. You're basically going to be CC'd no matter what. Now 5 Freaks trying to put that extra pressure on mid, but I feel like if you're not going to dive it, then there's not much more that you can do if you're 5 Freaks. But I guess it does create a situation where 5 Freaks feel like they have to send more people mid. Syndra's actually away from the side lane. Now she's moving back to bot lane. Ahri is hovering. Sorry, Vi is hovering for the Ahri. Not in vision right now. Could be spotted by the Iverngers jungler in the near future. Ooh, that is huge damage from autoplay right before this dragon. Golungulate now has to recall. Howitzer now face check for Brush just to get some vision down. And now, can 5 Freaks find a pick before this dragon hits? Tenshi is very wise not to move forward down the lane. It would certainly be his downfall. Iverngers most likely looking to contest, but they're not exactly in the best of positions. I mean, Golungulate is inside of the river. They're meekly approaching the objective. Kinda, sorta thinking about it. But it doesn't feel like they're 100% confident about what they want to do. The dragon has already spawned. And they're just giving 5 Freaks extra time. I mean, 5 Freaks should know that Iverngers are just looking for a pick before the dragons. Like, they have all the vision they need. They don't really need to do anything. They can just be like all business as usual as Iverngers are just scrambling to get a pick off, which is just not gonna happen for them. Provetro perhaps looking for something, and he's just going to find the Syndra. The charm lands as well, and what an initiation from 5 Freaks. They land just the target they were looking for. Blaziken comes in with his TP, but all he's going to find is a flash. Autoplay now going in for another charm, but he's going to be trapped in the realm of death. It's going to be at least one kill for Iverngers Civil War eventually. As Tyler goes in for more, David will secure another one, and 5 Freaks come out with that team fight with a huge win, and most likely the dragon on top of that as well. That was huge for 5 Freaks. Iverngers were almost able to block that charm with their bodies, but autoplay in the nick of time, managing to find that skill shot, which secured them the pick. And that was a lot of Iverngers' damage essentially gone. We're going to see the TP from No2 just to make sure that they can secure that objective, but actually Golungulate coming in. Can he get the smite down? No, he can't. Trying to be a hero in a desperate situation for Iverngers. But perhaps this is the wrong timing to be doing things like that. Because the Baron is now on the table and Xin Zhao is not available for another 20 seconds. I guess it is a bit early for 5 Freaks to be thinking about the Baron. I feel like it would be unwise for them to do so. But it still creates a 4v5 situation where they can do a lot on the map and secure additional objectives, such as mid lane tier 2 turret, which is a big take for them. We're also looking at the bot lane tier 2, but damn, that enchanted crystal arrow was so close to hitting there. Not quite hitting the mark. That would have been a very easy kill for Iverngers, but it was just not meant to be, I suppose. Uh-oh. Looks like trouble for No2. Rylai's Crystal Scepter forces out the flash. It was a good buffer from him on the W as well. That probably actually helped him survive in that situation. Nice volley from Tenshi, actually drawing aggro onto the Baron. But right now, you know, just the microscopic wins is all that Iverngers are really getting. The flash is burned. Just some extra damage on the table. But no important teamfight victories that would put them back in the running. $7,000 gold lead for 5 Freaks. This really feels like their game to lose, and they really don't need to worry about, you know, having to close out the game early. They can take their time. Oh, but we could be looking at a pretty important pick here for Iverngers, as David and Tyler are pushed up in mid lane way too far up. And Tenshi will get another kill on the board as well. That's 2 shutdowns going the way of Iverngers, but maybe 5 Freaks can get a kill in response. Autoplay goes in for the pick of his own, but he can't find the damage. Golungulate is still running low on HP, but still alive. It's just No2 that's left alive in a teamfight. Iverngers Civil War somehow find a miraculous win up in mid lane, and they kill just about everyone. 5 Freaks, they tried to salvage the situation, but they should have just let the misfortune die. That pick would not have been enough for Iverngers to secure. Well, hold on. Are we actually looking at a Baron? I guess not. Iverngers are still pushing up. But now they could be the ones punished. Oh, bullet time cancelled just as soon as it's cast by David. The TP's coming out for 5 Freaks. This is Iverngers misusing their tempo, potentially getting punished. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will whiff, but Blazikus is in the Thunderdome, and Tyler is stuck in there, basically unable to survive. Autoplay does get a pick on the back end of this exchange, but look at the gold lead though. This is Iverngers Civil War. Basically, uh-oh, could be looking at another pick. Good dodge from Howlisser. Golungulate wants to keep this going. Crescent Guard will make sure that autoplay cannot get any extra damage down on the table, and that is Iverngers Civil War now officially only 3,000 gold behind their opponents. And just 2 minutes ago, we were talking about a 7,000 gold lead. So that is really, really good news for Iverngers, and just a pretty big blunder for Five Freaks, it has to be said. They had this game in the bag, but they pushed up too far mid, and that is one of the cardinal sins of League of Legends, especially against a champion like Ashe, who can just throw Enchanted Crystal Arrow at you and punish you extremely quickly. Now we're back to this Dragon standoff. What can Iverngers do in this situation? They want to be contesting. They want to keep this river positioning. They see the TP and they back off suspiciously far away from the objective. They relinquish river positioning. Blaziken has the teleport. Now they're coming back in. Teleport comes back from Blaziken. Feels like both teams are sort of uncertain about what they want to do, but autoplay, importantly, has a potential flank opportunity. Provecho looking at the backline from another angle as well. It's a flank onto Galungulate that puts him very low on health. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will whiff. It's Five Freaks potentially splitting Iverngers on two sides of the fight here as the first kill comes out. Xin Zhao answers, but now it's Five Freaks and Vi onto the backline, and she is absolutely crushing it right now. Five Freaks find the win. It was pretty close, but it felt like they were the team that were more confident about their about what they wanted to do in the team fight, and they execute pretty well. They put themselves on soul point now. Yeah, the way that fight started for Five Freaks, it was definitely what enabled them to get the win in the end. The way the bullet time was able to just completely separate the front line and the back line just created all kinds of chaos that Iverngers were not really prepared to deal with. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow didn't really land on anyone in particular. Iverngers, they probably want to be the ones looking for something of their own before the fight starts. They don't want to be the ones trying to answer. And most importantly, in a team fight like this, they want to be tracking the misfortune and trying to interrupt her. If a bullet time is allowed to channel for its full duration, then that usually means trouble for your team. If it's well placed, that's just something that you can't really contest. You need to have the CC ready to be able to interrupt that, or at least make the misfortune uncomfortable in a team fight, not being able to press that button. Another important info for Five Freaks is that the Ornn upgrades are coming in too. Painted Rickern is the upgrade for the Ornn, so that's going to be pretty painful for Syndra especially. Infinity Edge upgraded for the Misfortune, that is so much AD. And Sundered Sky, which basically upgrades all 3 stats on the item. Vi is extremely tanky against this team. Maybe not so much when it comes to the Syndra, but usually I feel like when a team fight starts, the Vi is targeting the Syndra anyway. So if you just kill the Syndra, and then like the 80 frets is all you have to worry about, all of a sudden this itemization makes a little bit more sense. Now we're potentially onto the Baron. Five Freaks playing on all three lanes right now. Which is quite often can be punishing if you're a team that's trying to play across all three lanes. It can create a situation where the team that's defending can just pick one of the lanes and try to start a fight. And then you're trying to just scramble and find a counter engage, but it's not always available to you. I feel like it's usually easier to just stick to one dude in the side lane and then the rest playing towards mid. That's usually how it goes. With everything that's happened in this game, Blaziken is still looking very strong on this Mordekaiser, but can he really turn this game around? I mean, looking at the potential targets, he's probably, if he can get Misfortune in Realm of Death, that could be very important for his team, but can he even get in a position where that is, when that is allowed to happen? Usually Misfortune will be quite far away from Mordekaiser. We're just talking about a normal team fight. But hold on, as 5 Freaks have just started the Baron, and that will force Iverngers Civil War to respond. They're all moving towards the objective. What is the plan for 5 Freaks there? Do they want to turn, or do they want to finish the Baron? Iverngers are not coming in fast enough. 5 Freaks will just be looking for the finish, and No 2 will probably just be looking to hold off Iverngers Civil War and keep him occupied, but instead 5 Freaks will actually land a pick of their own, and autoplay is also on the flank. Iverngers have to turn tail and run. They have lost the Baron essentially for free without even, you know, a major fight being able to take place. They didn't force the issue fast enough, and 5 Freaks have just claimed a very important objective right in front of their eyes, and now we're on to the Baron with the jungler still dead. And Iverngers, it really feels like this is the sequence that loses them the game. Baron and Soul gone in one fell swoop. It feels... Again, I mean, I've already said this before, but once again, it feels like 5 Freaks should be able to close the game out from this position. They should. Will they? We've seen some cagey late games from this team. I mean, you have to be able to put the nerves aside and just do the right things. I mean, they did secure the objectives. Baron call was nice, but now what can they do with it? The bot lane tier 2 turret is still standing. Doesn't look like they're interested in that right now. They could find a pick on Mordekaiser right here if they spot him. Minion waves are not quite synced up just yet, so there's extra time for Iverngers Civil War to get something set up in return, possibly. But every charm from Ahri is going to hit like a truck now that Rabadon's death cap is completed. No 2 basically pushing in unopposed. Provecho is coming in. He's actually trapped in Realm of Death with Mordekaiser. Blaziken wants this 1v1. When he comes out, he could be in a lot of trouble though, as the burst damage from Misfortune just comes out. All of it comes out in one rotation, and they will secure the kill in the end. Blaziken was perhaps a bit too optimistic about his chances. Autoplay, yeah, all of his Spirit Dash charges are down. Once again, the big frontliner for Iverngers Civil War is dead, and another frontliner is sure to follow. That's a 3v5 situation. 5 Freaks still have the minion wave. Can they protect it? No 2 has to be able to stand in front of it. Not quite on this wave. Yeah, 5 Freaks, I feel like they just have to wait a little bit longer before they can get to the most coveted prize. But they are finding the picks. Now on to the bot lane. The gold lead is growing larger and larger. Now is the time where 5 Freaks will probably take the recalls, potentially the final recalls of the game. Just buy as much damage as you possibly can and just return onto the battlefield. Probably to fight Iverngers Civil War one last time. There's no big objective to fight over, so you probably still want to be playing around one of the side lanes here. Right now, everyone's standing mid, though. Now Ornn is moving bot to answer the Mordekaiser. It feels like 5 Freaks just want to get the Baron and then get it over with. They don't really care about what happens before that. But now we're seeing the top lane push as Autoplay is trying to take advantage of the fact that Iverngers are a little bit slow on the rotation. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land, but Ahri comes out of a stun right before the Rel can follow up. So that's one of the Iverngers engaged tools essentially used up. There's a chance it won't be available as 5 Freaks start the Baron? Yeah, they're onto it right now. Iverngers Civil War trying to stem the bleeding on their other minion waves. I guess they are just happy seeding the Baron for positioning on the Elder Dragon instead. But can they really find a win in a fight when they're 10,000 gold behind and an Infernal Soul is also available for 5 Freaks? On top of that, I mean, Tyler is gone. They did find that initial pick, but the bullet time will find the Rel as a response. Crescent Guard had to be used up for Gulungulate. He's very low on health once again. I don't think he'll be able to contest. The Call of Forge God immediately, they punish the jungler, Gulungulate. He had no business being in that position. Autoplay on the flank, completely ruining Tenshi's life. I mean, Kill a Vanilla does get a kill, but it's 5 Freaks who get the win in the team fight. They also have a minion wave waiting to be taken advantage of in the Iverngers base. The inhibitor will fall on its own as well, and it just feels like the win for 5 Freaks is all but a formality. It's just a Syndra defending the base. Rel coming out of the fountain as well. Good Q flash from Provecho, forces out the flash from Killer Vanilla, buys a lot of time for the other members of the team to just be hitting the Nexus, and that is going to be a very important win for 5 Freaks in their fight to remain in the running for playoffs. Now at 3-4,